Are you wondering if you work in a toxic work environment? You've come to the right place, because in today's video, I'm going to share with you how to know if the company you're working for is toxic. Watch this video to the end to learn the 5 major signs you're working for a very toxic company. Hi, I'm Jo Randolph and welcome to this channel. On this channel, I share with you how you can become an expert and leader in the field you care about most. Every single week, I post new videos on how to find a job you love and make a career doing something you love and that helps support the life you want. If you want to watch videos like this, come and join us and subscribe. I post new videos every single week. Now, the first thing I want to discuss is the distinction between working for a toxic company where the environment is very toxic and having a number of bad days. The reason why I say this is that every once in a while, wherever you work, you will probably go through a rough patch. So the key thing is to think about, are you having a series of bad days at work, or are you working for a toxic work environment? And the reason why this distinction is helpful is that it helps you decide whether this is something that you need to go through in order to evolve and grow as a person and as a professional, or whether this is something you need to get out of in order for you to grow and develop as a professional. The key question is, how do you distinguish between a bad period and also a toxic environment? The first thing is high turnover. Normally when companies are going through periods of high turnover where so many of your colleagues are leaving, and the worst thing is when your best friend leaves. When you find someone that you enjoy working with, they make going to work fun. And I remember one guy, he was a director and he was amazing at what he did, but he was just such a jokester of the office. He would make everyone laugh, he'd make all of us have a good time. And when he left, I kind of felt like the soul of the company left with him. And he was actually one of the founding members of the company. So the question is, are you finding that a lot of really good people that are working at the organization, are they leaving? And if they are, then it's a sign that these people are moving on to bigger and better things, and that where you are right now is a toxic work environment. However, if it's just a handful of people and there's not many people that are leaving, then it's a sign that maybe you're going through a rough patch. Now, the second sign is when people are gossiping. If you find yourself having lots of conversations with your colleagues during lunchtime, or when you're having a walk or having a private moment together, and you find yourselves talking about your managers, about the executives, about the way things run, about how ineffective things are. And if you find yourself having that conversation with many people, and the key thing is that people are coming to you with their complaints, and people are complaining about what they're unhappy about, as opposed to you starting the conversation. If that's the case, and that's a sign that you're also working in a toxic environment where not only are people unhappy, but people also feel it's safe to talk about how unhappy they are. This kind of breeds a trend. You know, there's sometimes the things that are trending on Twitter or trending on Instagram. Well, in your office, your manager or an issue might be trending. And if you find that happening on a continual basis, then it's a sign you work in a toxic environment. The third sign is if there are lots of lies and there's a lack of transparency. Theranos, the story behind Elizabeth Holmes, who was not telling the truth about the blood sampling product, that is a sign that if someone is willing to lie about their product, about their services in order to make money, and there are other lies going on in an organization, then that's a sign that you work in a toxic environment. Because chances are is that if there are lies being passed around to customers, to clients, then it's also possible that there'll be lies being passed on to employees. So it's really important to think, are the executives ethical? Are they honest? Are they transparent? Because at least if they are honest and transparent, and they say, okay guys, we're going through some issues, but we'll work through it, then chances are you can believe them and you can hope that things will work out. But if on the other hand, they have lied about lots of things, then it doesn't really matter whether they say they are going to change things. They might not change things if they are habitual liars. And the fourth sign is that you're working at a company that makes you feel like a money robot. And by this, I mean the company that you work for, they make you feel your job is to do something and to just do it, and they don't really care about who you are as a person. They don't care about your professional development. They don't care about what's important to you. They don't care about addressing your issues. All they care about is that you keep your head down, you get the job done, you make them money, you help them be successful, and that's about it. And now, if you don't feel very valued, and it's not just you, they just don't really value staff on a general basis. So for example, I'm not going to mention any names of companies, but there are companies, big companies, that are like insanely successful, where they have a reputation of treating their staff poorly, and they have a reputation of making it clear to people that they aren't that special and that they can find a replacement anytime soon. Now, if you work in an organization like that, then that's also a sign that you're working in a toxic environment. And the fifth sign is that you work in an organization where multiple people make you feel small. Now, this can show up in a variety of ways. So for example, if you work in an organization that's very male dominated and they actually don't treat women fairly, like, it's one thing to not have very many women working in that organization, but it's another for them to not be treated fairly. So for example, there are some companies where women that have been sexually harassed, HR don't do anything about it. That's a sign of a toxic culture. So ask yourself a really important question, which is, am I working for people that believe in me, or are they picking on me? Am I working for people that respect me and value me, or do they make me feel like I'm a small piece in a big machine? And if you work in an organization where you feel like a small and meaningless piece in a big machine, not that you are, but that's how they make you feel, then that's also a sign of a toxic work environment. Why does this matter? Why do I mention these signs? Well, here's the thing. If you work in a toxic work environment, chances are you're going to be unhappy for a very long time. And the reason being is that toxic work environments don't often change. In order for organizations to change, it is a big effort. It requires the CEO and the senior executives to see the light and realize that the way they've been running things needs to change. And it also requires some cultural changes and shifts within the organization. Now, this can be tough depending on who they've hired, the mindsets of the people they've hired, and also whether the CEO or executives are willing to take responsibility for the culture they've breeded and they've nurtured. And if they aren't, then it's very difficult for things to change. So what's the impact of that on you? Well, the impact of that on you is that you'll be unhappy for a very long time. You'll be stressed, and if you're this stressed, you could be unhealthy. I know that for me, I was working at a toxic work environment, and I got really stressed and I got really unhappy where I was working. So really ask yourself the question, is it worth it? Because unless where you are is worth it for either financial reasons in order to fund and fuel your next step, or whether it's giving the experience you need in order for you to go somewhere else, like, unless your job is doing that for you, then it's not really worth staying. It's much better that you do something that is aligned with where you need to be in your career, and that also saves your soul rather than kills your soul in the process. Anyways, that's it from this week. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Ooh, and if you're looking for a new job, you can always order and buy my Get Your Dream Job course. That course will show you how you can find your dream job and find a company that actually has the culture and work environment that you want. To grab this course, simply click on the link in the description box below, or if you're new to my channel, you can always try the free version that tells you what you need to do differently in order to get your new job and increase your salary by up to 40%. I would love to know what's one thing you found frustrating about where you work. Leave a comment in the box below. I'm genuinely interested in learning about what makes people happy and unhappy at work. So leave a comment in the box below. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I shall speak to you again next week. All right, bye.